and communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Millennium News 24 Power Talk show here live. I'm Eric Stevenson, your host, and I'm feeling very good today for many reasons. First, because I woke up and I'm here to speak to you today, and secondly, is because I'm here in the studio with two great health professionals who's making me feel so good. And we want to bring it to you today. It's a New Year's coming in, and we're going to wish you a prosperous and happy New Year's. But we want to give you something for your New Year. It's something to think about, and we want to give it an assignment in improving and changing your life for better health, because that's our true wealth. So with me in my studio today, I have Mr. Coach Alfred Porter from the Community Wellness Artistry Association. He's a wellness coach. He does water sports, etc. He'll get into that. And of course, to my left, I have the incredible natural health hero. Yes, superheroes, you know that? We have the natural health hero with us, and that's Mr. Dr. Shaka Aziz. And he's from the Community Empowerment Mission, and he's also known as the natural health hero. He has his own clinic for acupuncture and natural herbs, etc. He's an author of a very great herbal book that you would just love to want to get your hands on. There's only but so many in circulation, but there's still more left. But we'll get into that in a moment. So, Mr. Alfred, welcome. Dr. Aziz, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The viewers are here today. So we'll start with you, Mr. Alfred. Basically, you could just tell us a little bit about your background to the viewers, and we'll go into it.
Well, first off, I want to say I feel blessed to be able to be here amongst some strong men who are making a difference in the community. And when I started my wellness instruction journey, it actually was with water, where all came from water. I started teaching and coaching swimming back in the late 90s. And for the last 20 years, I have embodied land and water instruction. But from the fitness, which a lot of people speak on, from the fitness, I realized that the bigger expression is where you come from spiritually. Everything that you work on, you have to recognize that years that I taught and coached the Water Dragon swim team out of the Mount Vernon YMCA, group fitness for seniors and teens. I have a boot camp class. I have a Zoom class that's for adults and youth. And the reality is, all those years I realized how important it is to make sure that you get off of what's holding you down and express yourself with what is truly inside of you need to let out. So I try to take it from a holistic perspective, even though most of my years, it's been really about fitness, but I've come to really understand that it's more mental and spiritual than it is physical.
Thank you. Dr. Aziz, why don't you give the viewers a little bit of your background?
Sure. First and foremost, Dr. Aziz, also known as the Dr. Shaka Zulu in the community, has been a martial artist for over 25 years. And as my experience as a martial artist and professional fitness enthusiast like my good brother over here, I got to a point where some of the martial art grandmasters actually shared some of the internal esoteric secrets of martial arts. They stated to me that in order to be a true master, one would also have to know not only the knowledge of how to hurt and deal with combat, but also deal with the energy of healing and so forth. But I put my energies and my attentions back into almost like a white belt in my adult age into the learning aspects of holistic medicine. And so in my community, we also see that there's a disparity of a lot of health issues, and based upon a lack of knowledge, lack of love for self. So my organization, Natural Health Hero, is a result of combating those issues in the community, because health is wealth.
So what are some of the things you offer in your organization?
So we deal with health literacy programs, such as empowering the people with free blood pressure screenings, dealing with oximeter readings and results as to what does that mean, what's good in the hood, basically talking to folks about their urine analysis, their saliva, their body weight, and so forth, and the natural things that can be done. As a board certified naturopath, I don't just wave the flag in the air for just natural medicine or herbs, but also learning about how to integrate the best of Eastern and Western together, making it complementary for the best and the quality of all holistic healthcare for everyone.
Because many people now are so inundated with so much pharmaceutical medications. I mean, I've talked to some elderly people who saying they spending up to $400, $500, $600 a month on all of these packs, on these bottles of pills, and I'm like, my goodness! I said it's like toxins to the body, because they take it in all this medication without even any forms of detoxifying the body and getting it out of the body. So I'm wondering, like, I always happy to see people like you and Alan, offered here to always talk about health, or to do the work of improving people's health, because I'm wondering how people could get the information or knowledge. I don't believe we was created into this world with pharmaceutical medications. I know my grandmother, when I was growing up, if I was sick, we didn't go to a doctor, and she didn't pull out a pill. I know she went to a pot. I know she boiled the garlic, or she boiled this, some honey, lemon. But guess what? When it was flu time, 2 or 3 days, we got over flu times. We didn't have medications. So, is there information you're offering people at your organization on how to guide them into probably being able to reduce the intake of this medications, or even probably come off it?
Yes, well, first, thank you for this opportunity to share this information, because this, we're ending off the year, but also having the opportunity to begin the new year with a better us, better mind, better body, and so forth. And one of the ways that we want to encourage folks is to come to the site, naturalhealthhero.com. And when they go to naturalhealthhero.com, they can see basic information about herbs and nutrition, and particularly exercise, okay? Because the majority of folks that we are dealing with have circulatory issues, whether it's blood issues or it's breathing issues and so forth. So I inspire individuals through medical qigong, exercise, positive walk and talk, because all thoughts are preliminary actions, and for every action is a reaction. For every cause, there's an effect. That's science. And that science is metaphysics, but that's also quantum health physics that we should all know about and learn about. That's what I talk about and teach about in Natural Health Hero, and also my book that I have that I self-published this year, called Natural Herbs for the People. And this is a great powerful book that one could add to their library already, because the majority of the herbal books that has thus far been produced or published have all been with diagrams of herbs or plant that have been just drawings, only in black and white. We have to now fast forward it and fast forward it to today's time and speed for everybody's knowledge. So we have the pictures, not just in drawings, but they are also in color, so that one can actually have a good way of identifying. One second, has a lot of stuff in here too. It has
seems like the Bible of health right there.
There you go. I have a lot of great color pictures in there, particularly a lot of culinary herbs that one would actually use.
Be able to identify, huh?
And identify, right? Those of us who have them in our cabinets, but actually how to utilize them as superfoods, because food is our medicine.
Right.
Right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're gonna get into how people will be able to get that later in the show, because you have to tell us how to get one. And I hope you bought one for me too. But also, you know, so as we go into this new year tomorrow, so the theme I'm hearing here is wellness. So, Coach, I mean, to me, I get a lot of different thoughts and meanings and ideas of the word wellness. What is wellness to you?
Well, the Trinity, which most of y'all have heard, mind, body, spirit. Once again, most folks think of, I'm going to work out. I'm going to lift those weights.
Yeah, because that's what I'm always thinking, going to a gym. But I'm thinking there's more to it.
It definitely is. And the reality is, you do have to move your body, change your thought. So the reality is, you definitely have to move, as the doctor was just saying. It's about the circulation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to take out the old blood and put in the new. We got to get that fresh, new oxygen coming in and let that CO2 come out. So the reality is, in doing that, when those endorphins kick in, you get that nice natural high that you get from the workout. There's the part that comes into play, which is, as the mind is starting to feel good, you're taking in some great oxygen and you're getting out some of that old blood. But the reality is, you have to say to yourself, is my mind served by this? And obviously it is, because you're feeling good. But then the other aspect on the deeper level is spiritually, right? It is carrying me, and I give myself that time because there's a lot of meditative practice that comes into being physical.
So actually, going out, working out, exercising actually is a part of it.
Absolutely.
But it's not all of it.
And it's definitely not all of it. And one of the reasons why I am very much into more freedom of expression, a lot of people who are very much into some type of fitness, I find that most people are also artists. And in some way, shape, or form, they probably express themselves, whether it's someone who writes, whether it's someone who designs clothes, whether it's someone who just literally maybe into like a craft, you know, like carving wood, you know what I'm saying, or painting, things of that nature that are on another level of artistry. So that could be a form of wellness too.
It's very much because it's taking your mind off of the daily stress. It's putting you into something you may enjoy doing.
Exactly.
So I'm seeing how this picture works together.
Exactly. And that and on another level, people have to recognize there is the artist in you. Some type of a hobby, some type of a connection that allow you to be passionate about it. So you'll get up in the morning or in the evening, whenever time it is that you give yourself an hour or so to just be involved with that activity. You know what I mean? It starts with that you got to get up and move. You know what I mean? And once you start moving, like I said, those things kick in. And then people are drawn to so many different eclectic things that they like to get into. And try something new. Go take a walk. Go by where you see where the birds are being fed. Go by where you see the kids are playing. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. We need to get back to the general aspect of getting outside. It's very important for us to go outside. And why do we need to go outside? Because we need to connect with having some sun, some fresh air, the earth.
That's important. That's vitamin D.
It's very important. You know what I'm saying? And the connections that are being lost, because a lot of people have to say it's lost, is that they're not going to their local parks.
So you basically got to go back to the basics.
You have to. It's very primal.
The earth.
It's very primal.
Wow.
Yes.
We got some work to do, people. But we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to return right back to you and get into some more great health talks, as we promised we would do. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the world of Millennium News 24. We bring news, we analyze news, and we make a bridge between you and the eventful world. 24/7, Millennium News 24 team is at your service. Don't miss today's America, Editorial Today, and Global Democracy with host Tofader Noor. You also won't want to miss Todd Goldfinger's show, Goldfinger Music Hour, Noon News with host Todd Goldfinger. And to stay connected with all top and trending news, don't even miss Millennium News Hour with host Tanziba Nouri. Millennium News 24 is available to be watched free for all LED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV, and also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Millennium TV 24 News you need to know.
Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk Show, and I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. I'm just fired up, just making a New Year's resolution here on improving my health as my true wealth. And I'm hoping the viewers will get something out of it too, because we brought this for you today. As we just heard from Coach Alford about what it means to actually be in a mindset of wellness. It's not just going to a gym, pumping up and lifting up barbells or dumbbells, but it's also a state of mind of participating and returning back to earthly things, getting the direct sunlight, our vitamin D, taking brisk walks through the parks, fresh breathing, fresh air, grounding with the earth, etc. So there's so much more to just working out and wellness. So I thank the coach for telling us that. And doctor, I would like your perspective on wellness. As you see it from your profession, how would you define wellness to our viewers?
Definitely from a holistic perspective, I definitely have to place a great emphasis on the spiritual component in a person's quality of health. Everyone knows that when a person has a spiritual backing, whatever it is, it's actually basically enhances the electromagnetism healing spectrum of a human being based upon the power of prayer. One could say prayer can be internal, it could be external. Also prayer can also be transformed into meditation and different lifestyles and so forth, whether it be in yoga and so forth, or even in a meditation in a spiritual essence in a masjid or a synagogue or a church. In a health gym for that, or even in a car, because we are all interconnected to the mind, the body, and the soul, spiritually interconnected, physically interconnected, emotionally interconnected. All right, so definitely I like to say that spirituality is that. They had a study about not too long ago, that there was allopathic world where they had two patients, and they had them told that they were going to die. They were going to die within 2 months and so forth. And he said, one took the medication and got spiritual. The other one didn't take the medication, just was like, oh, I'm going to die. And they allowed the so-called information from this so-called, those individuals basically put the patient or the client, into a system of paralysis. They were paralyzed. They didn't do nothing. They just threw in the towel for themselves. And what wound up happening, we want to find out in the study, is that both of those individuals were actually just given placebos. They didn't get any medication whatsoever. They was just given the same information or so-called misinformation, yet one went into empowerment of themselves, into the spiritual blessing, and the other went and said, and they threw in the towel. And then actually, died.
Wow. So we continue on. It's so much to learn in such little time to cover such a big topic, but not to stray away from the wellness, because we're going to continue with that. But it did have some main stream questions that came up that I usually ask my guests on the show. And I won't go into every one, but I'll ask a few questions pertaining to life and the life of politics and government of the world and so on, of what's going on. Number one on my list of questions that I wanted to ask about your both opinions, we can start with you, Coach, is in Maine, state of Maine, as you know, it bars Trump from the ballot as the U.S. Supreme Court weighs the state's authority to block the president in other states. Supreme Court is now being called to the test to answer whether other states can follow pursuit as Maine has done. What is your thoughts on Maine blocking former President Trump from the ballot?
Well, I have to say I agree with the move that the Secretary of State made, and once again, if we go by the writing, what it states in the Constitution, if someone participates in an insurrection act or leads or promotes, that's literally what our former president, Donald Trump, did on the day of January 6th. If they're going to be very specific about that, there are other instances we could go by, but the reality is he had the power, he was the influence. His name was all over the flags that while those people were climbing the walls, and he did not ask them to stop. And just by him not asking them to stop when he had the power to, that was supporting an insurrection.
So you believe that should be a reason that he not be placed on a ballot?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if that's the case, then why would they be allowing him to run, period? If that's the case, then he should not be allowed to run as president, period, right? So I guess the Supreme Court is going to decide that. And if they say that's the case, then most states are going to raise their hand and say, we don't want him on our ballot either. And that's going to be a real problem if that happens with the former president. Doctor, what's your thoughts on this?
I kind of strongly agree with the decision of Maine's barring Mr. Trump, former President Mr. Trump, from actually being on the ballot. My thing is that what's actually destroying this country is not any particular foreign boogeyman or boogeywoman. What's actually destroying this country is the hypocrisy and the contradiction of its own Constitution.
Yes, indeed.
Okay,
I agree.
so from when the Constitution, meaning, whether you're a Buddhist, then you study the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, you study the I Ching. If you're Ayurveda, you study that. You're a Christian, you study the Bible. You're a Muslim, you study the Quran, right? You're Hebrew, you study the Torah. You're American, it imposes or improves you to actually study the Constitution, okay? Not break the Constitution like our former president, Mr. Trump, did, and actually incited a riot and actually was very violent. Anyone else and everyone else that looks like some of us here in this room and the majority of the folks around the country, they would have been under the jail, okay? And these individuals were actually let out and so forth. So I'm not with that, and so forth.
Wait, because that was such a dangerous act to promote. It actually cost lives of a police officer, and it's called injuries in the life of some others. It put many people in danger. So I would think
Irrevocable harm.
I would think the same, that if this is the case, but then again, I mean, he's on trial for it, right? He has to go to trial and be found guilty on it.
Right.
But the handwriting on the wall, according to prosecutors, is they have the proof that he encouraged it, incited this riot on January 6th. So if that's the case, we're going to wait for the Supreme Court ruling to see what they decide. And if they come back and say that Maine has a right and the states, other states in America have the right, then guess what? I'm sure half of the states are going to block him from the ballot, and there's going to be really no way for him to have a win if he can't be on the ballot to get voted for. And also, the Supreme Court is rejecting the prosecutor's push to fast-track ruling in the Trump election subversion case. So that's the thing. It's a slap in the face to the prosecutors because he wants to fast-track it. He's like, look, if he's guilty, if he's wrong, if he's the culprit in this, then we should fast-track this and not allow him to run to be a president again of the United States. Supreme Court, no, they're not going to fast-track it. I mean, Coach, what do you think? I mean, it's something that I would think that you would want to fast-track, because that's like saying we have a bank robber, attempted bank robber here, or supposedly bank robber here, who's applying for a job in a bank, right? And we should hurry to do his background check before you hire him, or you can make a mistake and put it back in the bank to rob the bank again, right?
Right.
So, I mean, come on. I think the prosecutor was on the right track. Guess what? If he's innocent, then let it be shown that he's innocent. But we should fast track this thing and not allow someone to go into the White House and create this chaos all over again, or find out that he's guilty after he's in the White House. Now you have a bigger problem unseating him again, because the special powers that the president has, there's things he could do to protect himself.
It's pretty simple. If his true belief is, which he keeps stating, that the election was fraudulently inspired, was improperly done, and that Biden is not a true president, you have your proof, and you're saying that there are falsehoods in the last election, you should want all of your proof to come forward.
I mean, would you agree that it should be fast tracked?
Absolutely. You should want to be able to step up.
So the prosecutor's request should be
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's probably something that makes sense amongst most American people, whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent. You would want to get to the bottom of something before we say we're going to decide whether a person could sit as a president of the United States. Doctor, I mean, do you think the prosecutor was wrong, or?
No, I think we should go for
With the fast track.
Go for the fast track as soon as possible. Let's get it on. Let's start frying this chicken. You know what I'm saying? As the people say, because you know, I think that the issue again is due process of the law.
Yes.
He should be held just as the same level of bar standards as any and everyone else. If you're a so-called citizen and as a human being, you know what I'm saying? And as a constituent of the United States of America, in particular, you were the president. Right, so the bar standard should actually be a lot more higher, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? However, you know, again, should we, the people, who is the organic government, have to suffer again another take like this?
Well, I said, look, Supreme Court has it. They're going to rule on it. Maine has already taken a position. California allowed them on.
Power to the people of Maine and California, the people that stand up. We need to support
other
more people.
states. Other states are probably gonna sit on the sideline and wait to see what the Supreme Court says. If the Supreme Court permits it, then everyone's gonna feel that they're safe and it's safe to do it. But Maine took a bold step before all of this and said, you know what? According to the law as we see it, he's not permitted to be a candidate in our state. So let's see who's going to follow through. Let's see what the Supreme Court says, and you know.
Hold on a second though. He might be health wise, because between him and Biden, I don't know. You know, health wise, you know, he seems like he's still perky and moving around, and our other guy Biden.
But that doesn't give you a right for insurrections and having people killed and shutting governments down, destroying government properties, and you know, there's a respect to the rule of our country, of our government, the rule of law, and all that exists in our Constitution. Even though it's not always properly used, it's violated, and it's always loopholes, and it's always amended in the favor of others year after year. I mean, I don't know what Congress does down there all year round. I mean, well, most of the year they're down there. They seem to just be doing more bickering than anything else. Work is not getting done at this time, you know. But let's see what happens. We're going to hope for the best and that this thing's move forward. Personally, I've seen Nikki Haley now. She's like skyrocketing in the polls now. She's up to, I believe, close to 30 or beyond 30% now. 30 points now, you know, which is amazing.
You said going up?
Oh, she was down like at 4 points at one time.
Single digits.
You know? And then got up to 6 and 8, and I was like, she doesn't have a chance. But now she's over 30.
Wow.
And now that's why Donald Trump is giving her a run for the money, running negative ads against her, because there's a fear there now that women in this nation are finally saying that we need a woman president, or we need someone who understands women's rights, and so on. So, look, she's not going down. She's continuing to rise, even though she got kind of caught up in a crossfire with a question on slavery
Yes.
the other day regarding the Civil War, and didn't know that the Civil War, they couldn't properly directly explain what it was about,
Right.
which surprises me for an educated person who very well knows history
Right.
and American history. So to be asked it 3 times and to finally, under pressure, admit Civil War in this relation to slavery, that kind of raised a brow on me. But we're going to take a break. We're going to continue back in the health and wellness journey, and we'll talk to you right after this break. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the world of Millennium News 24. We bring news, we analyze news, and we make a bridge between you and the eventful world. 24/7 Millennium News 24 team is at your service. Don't miss today's America, Editorial Today, and Global Democracy with host Tofader Noor. You also won't want to miss Todd Goldfinger's show, Goldfinger Music Hour, Noon News with host Todd Goldfinger. And to stay connected with all top and trending news, don't even miss Millennium News Hour with host Tanziba Nouri. Millennium News 24 is available to be watched free for all LED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Millennium TV 24 News you need to know.
To Millennium News 24 Power Talk Show. And once again, I'm your host, Eric Stevenson, and I'm here again, as you know, with Coach Orford and Dr. Shaka Zulu Aziz, a natural health hero. And man, we're going to continue on health, but I always like to touch on world affairs and political affairs because that's everyday affairs that control the destiny of our nation and the policies as is being crafted in our nation. But not to get too far away from the wellness and health, because we want to bless you with that before we close our show. But I have another question, point 7 on my list today, gentlemen. And then we'll go back into the wellness. Israel and Hamas measures get a look at most U.S. state legislators. Well, Israel and Hamas, their measures, most U.S. state legislators in each individual state now, they meet for the first time since October 7th to talk about the protests, and they're preparing to take action in response, both symbolic and concrete. And legislators in at least 8 states that were in session late in 2023 have already condemned their attacks. So whether you think it's right on or wrong on either side, death is going on, murder is happening, destruction is happening, and people getting fed up is happening. 8 states already have come forth out of silence and said they can't take anymore, and they condemned the war and the attacks and said we need to cease fire immediately. Coach, what do you think?
Well, I have to agree that the main thing we should be asking for is a ceasefire. There should be some peace that should have to come of this, because I realize it's the amount of deaths that have occurred, which I'm told is over 20,000 in Gaza right now over the war. It's I would say to you, when you think about the numbers, and I'm going to go by the numbers for right now. Based on the numbers, you're looking at the aspect of maybe 18,000 or so people. Try to equate to the 1,500 or so that they had lost in Israel. These people are dying in droves, and the children, numbers of children that are passing, it's like you're losing an entire generation. And I totally am not for what Hamas has done in reference to the terrorist attacks, but there must be a better way to negotiate and work on peace, because at this point, they're destroying an entire nation. They're really working on annihilating our nation. And you know,
So you would agree with a ceasefire? Immediately.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, there's
Absolutely.
8 states now. You know, that's a
Absolutely.
big thing. The 8 states in the nation
Absolutely.
is now coming forward. And like others who's on the sideline, they always look for someone else to go first and just follow the leader, right? So now you'll start seeing more states coming out as they start to convene now to look at this more closely and take action. I mean, you know, it's so much that we could say about this and talk about this and view history on and see who's right, who's wrong. But look, killing, to me, one way or another, is not a good thing. Unless justified in a really, really, really serious situation. There's some instances where it, you know, if a guy, like the guy who was in Buffalo, New York, he went into a supermarket, shot and killed an 89-year-old woman and about 8 more people. So in a situation like this, he was suicidal. The police had no choice if they went in but to not tell him to drop the gun, because he's not dropping a gun. They would have to shoot him to kill him because he already killed 8, 9 people. So there's some situations where it's not wanted but necessary, right? But the ceasefire, we need to have it. I mean, it's a lot of talk. Joe Biden fumbles on it and says, yeah, we need it, yeah, we need it. But yes, he's giving them tanks and more weaponry to fight. So there's a hypocritical situation here. You know? So anyway, I don't know, Doctor, how do you see this?
More love, more truth, more peace.
Do we need the ceasefire?
We absolutely need the ceasefire. It needs to be more of the ceasefire and the peace fire. But I also want to make sure I mention that there can't be no peace without the justice.
That's true.
But that justice is actually the acknowledgement of the displacement of the indigenous folks from over there in places there. So with this here happening at such a very large scale, you know, and violence, I don't condemn the violence at all on both sides whatsoever, but it is bringing to our attention, you know, the things that we as all human beings from all nations need to, you know, pay attention to. Need to start trying to put out this fire of hatred, you know, because this fire of hatred is really destroying all of humanity.
I think we should start a world, I think that's what United Nations and everything is there in place to do, to have a world peace conference, but people should be held accountable to their agreement in world peace. It should be, if you agree to come into a situation of world peace, of course it takes work, but those who don't, there should be some type of penalty for breaking a world peace resolution. And they should really be held accountable, whoever and whatever nation it is. World peace, people should live in peace. We're born here on this planet, born here in this world, and I don't think the intention is to be in a war. We're born to be in a war. I think we're born in to worship or to serve our Creator and to serve our nation, serve our people, and to grow in harmony with one another and to enjoy that which the world has to offer. I just want to get back on the wellness journey as well before we run out of time, because it's so much we want to give to the viewers for a New Year resolution. I think that's one of the best things we could do, because being able to follow through or pursue with wellness may be you adding an additional 10 years to 15 years or more on your own life. It may be the difference of you not being it may be the difference of you not walking with a cane in 2 years by following a good wellness plan. It may be the result of you not being on dialysis 3 days a week because you failed to follow a wellness plan. It may be that, you know, you won't be taking chemotherapy for cancer because you followed a wellness plan. Look, we got to really get serious on this. But I would like to know from you, Coach, and then of course from you, Doctor, how can someone get started on a wellness journey? I mean, what should be a starting step?
Well, earlier I mentioned about that aspect of moving muscle change thought. You know, just going out and taking a short walk. Um, Doctor mentioned earlier, before you go out, recognize that what you're putting in your body, that food is medicine. You said it, and you know, I can't agree more. You need to make sure that you have like a simple, healthy intake of your vegetables. Make sure that what you're eating is food. Okay, not something that's processed. Okay, you know,
Give us an example of processed foods for those who may not know.
Well, I could keep it real simple for you. Whenever you go into the supermarket, the middle of the supermarket is all the boxed up goods, all the boxed and canned up goods. Pretty much everything in the middle of the supermarket primarily is processed. When you walk the outer perimeter in the supermarket, that's usually where your vegetables,
that's how it's usually set up,
and your lean meats
Right.
and things of that nature are. You know what I mean? The reality is it should be something that more or less comes from the earth. It should be mostly plants. Yes, you can have healthier lean meats, but the reality is it should be mostly plants. And definitely make sure you're drinking plenty of water.
That's very important.
Plenty of water. We go back to that because, like I said, we come from water, so recognize it. Our bodies are mostly water, so we should be more into water.
Do you know many times when a person's walking around with a headache during the day and they say I have like a migraine or headaches? You know, a lot of that is because they're dehydrated.
Something very simple.
From not drinking water, and you don't even realize what's going on?
It's so simple.
Wow.
It really is true. And another thing is, walk away from the social media sometimes. Unplug. This is where I'm mentioning about going outside. Unplug and give yourself 20 minutes of not being in front of the LCD screen. Give yourself a chance, once again, to get a little bit more reconnected with the earth. I mean, I can't say how important it is to recognize what it is to feel the bark of a tree. Maybe even once a week, I would say, why don't you step out somewhere, maybe in a yard or park when it's nice. Take off your shoes. Take off your shoes and feel the grass under your feet. Let me tell you, it could be an exhilarating thing that you would be reminded of from when you were a child. For most of us, who remember playing outside for hours upon a time, and that it's just the aspect of that goes deeper because when we go outside, what has happened is a lot of people have been isolating, and we need to start to connect with community. And that's another aspect of what you're trying to work on. So get outside, drink a lot more water, eat more plants, and then connect, compliment your neighbor, help out someone nearby that you know. Be involved with that part of the community because this is what starts to alleviate stress because a lot of us around us, we're starting to get a little bit paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, COVID has pushed us a little to another length, but let's recognize that we still need to be about community. So connections are important. Those are the spiritual and community connections that are very important.
So a way to get started on this journey would be first to want to start it, right?
Yeah, get up and move. You need to move. You got to get up and move. You can't be sitting
So they have to make a commitment to want to do this thing.
Yes, indeed.
And start it.
You got to do some kind of movement. Move your body. Do something. Whatever it takes, move your body.
Well, viewers, to get started means you have to get started. So it means you have to get up and do. Tomorrow morning, New Year's Day, you wake up, God willing, start. That's your instruction to get started on your wellness journey. Stay away from that middle section of the supermarket, I can tell you that. All those canned goods and things, I mean, sometimes, we do it. I remember when I was younger, we've time to time have ate canned foods, but they were probably better back then, for 40 years ago or so, but it's not advisable today. And also, better eating, exercise, like you said, grounding yourself with the earth. And so much more we're going to have to do, but we're going to take another break. And we're going to come back with the natural health hero and his perspective on how we get started on this wellness movement. Be right back.
what I'm doing tonight.
Welcome to the world of Millennium News 24. We bring news, we analyze news, and we make a bridge between you and the eventful world. 24/7 Millennium News 24 team is at your service. Don't miss today's America, Editorial Today, and Global Democracy with host Tofader Noor. You also won't want to miss Todd Goldfinger's show, Goldfinger Music Hour, Noon News with host Todd Goldfinger. And to stay connected with all top and trending news, don't even miss Millennium News Hour with host Tanziba Nouri. Millennium News 24 is available to be watched free for all LED TVs such as Sony, Samsung, LG, Roku TV, Amazon TV, and Apple TV. And also in all European countries and Australia, available with the Sky Network, Worldwide Jago TV, Radiant IPTV, Worldwide Jago BD Network, and Horizon Satellite globally. Millennium TV 24 News, news you need to know.
Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. I'm fired up here. I'm ready tomorrow to, God willing, wake up and get started with my wellness journey. I plan to do it anyway, but after hearing all this great information, I'm encouraged more now to improve my health, my mind, my body, and soul, the trinity of our life. And Doctor, what would you advise, or how would you tell the viewers, how would you advise them to get started on their journey? We heard from the coach, which we know about the earth grounding and everything we need to do, and stay away from processed foods. What would you advise, Doc?
Health is wealth. Health is wealth. Health is wealth. I can't say that again. First and starts foremost with the spiritual base, thanking the Most High, the creator, the source of all things, all forces, whichever name that you choose to call him, her by, choose that and use that to your empowerment. And actually use that also, also want to say the usage of water. Okay, not just in taking a bath, but also drinking water.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Dehydration is so important.
Oh yeah. There's so many things that's dealing with dehydration issues and so forth. And how to get started, especially in the beginning of the day, is, again, the first thing on thought is on the Creator, the Source. Thanking Him for blessing you with the power to be able to breathe, inhale, exhale, which is my next part of what I wanted to say. The importance, not just only on water, and also how to energize the water to make it into healing by praying over it, blessing over it, so forth like that, because we are energetic beings and so forth. And water has a memory base within itself. Dr. Emoto, he did
a Japanese doctor. So I saw that book when they froze the water, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You froze the particles of the water,
Yes,
and you
yes.
place it under the microscope, and you see the spectrum harmonies
You
of
got
the water.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's very amazing.
Yeah.
I was so surprised to see that.
Yeah. Just off the science and the basis
Yeah.
of utilizing words.
Yes,
Words,
yes.
the power of words.
Knowledge
Words
is so
are
much.
powerful.
Knowledge is powerful.
Words is medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say peace over the water looks like peace. And the water, you're going to ingest peace.
Yeah.
If you say healthy, it's going to ingest that. If you say unhealthy things, it's going to ingest that.
Wow.
They did a test on it, right? He's talking about this Japanese scientist, right?
Yes.
And he said peace, love, harmony over the water and froze it. And he took another cup and he says, I want to kill, I don't like the world, and he froze it. And when he showed what both cups of water looked like after it froze, this one was so beautified with so much beautiful crystals and all in it versus like a clouded, polluted water, frozen. And these gold shows the energy of word that was put on the water. So what he's saying is absolutely right. It's absolutely correct.
I want to add on, and also to add on, not only that, let's slap back into reality. The power of sound also has an effect. Also, good quality sound, good music is also therapeutic and is soothing for the soul, as they say. So when you play that good music, it's going to make people, have those good energies, bring back that vibration and so forth. And that's also sound
effect. Yeah, sound effect is it's so much knowledge, so much things to learn. I'm glad that you guys are on today. About your book, I mean, how are we going to get a copy of this?
Oh, man.
I got 12 million viewers or more out there who probably say, well, how are we going to get this book?
We need to activate, you know, saying people power, as we talked about, me and the coach was talking about. Take a look at it. We need to activate people power, and I need folks to, you know, connect with me. And
Not to earn for the people. Look at this.
And you can actually get that on naturalhealthhero.com. And you can also email me at naturalhealthhero786@gmail.com. And basically that's
hay fever,
information,
hangovers,
affirmation
headaches.
for the people about basic knowledge of what I call is survival medicine for the people by the people.
Okay.
These are things that we should already have in our cabinets. However, a lot of us don't know how to activate it anymore because of the processed foods.
That's true.
So the metaphysical equation is if I'm eating only processed foods, is going to contribute to processed decisions, processed behaviors. This is why we have a plethora of different behavioral issues that are addressing our youth, particularly attention deficit disorder issues like what's today's mathematics. Oh yeah, obesity, heart disease, directly contributed from foods that we say in the supermarkets, but I talk and teach my clients that this is stupid markets. The reason why is because when was the last time that when folks go into the supermarket and you take the time to read what's on the label?
Yeah.
And be able to understand and comprehend what is being placed onto that label.
It's funny that I look in the book and I open it, and it's New Year's Eve, and it says, I see a remedy you have here for hangovers. Hey, it's very strange to me, but you know what? Look, I'm not encouraging you to get a hangover, but if you do, try to get this book for next year so you can know how to get over the hangover. But if you do, take it easy, don't drink and drive. But or take your apple cider juice and think it's alcohol and drink that instead. It's better for your health. So we could get this book where?
You can get that book as well as also some of the other goodies that.
Yeah, I see you have oregano. I see you have black seed oil.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the viewers we could get these products
so
out?
you can actually get the book on Natural Health Hero.
naturalhealthhero.com.
All right. You can also call me direct at 347-391-9685. Information for the people. All right, for bookings. We have a Harlem office. This here is my black seed oil, Natural Health Hero black seed oil.
Great stuff.
This is one of the best things that you want to end and start the new year off with.
Yes.
Because black seed oil is one of the most ancient remedies that is most strong because of what is called the thymoquinol compound. The thymoquinol compound that's in the black seed, or which is also known as Nigella sativa, is excellent for antiseptic, antiviral.
Yeah, they said anti-cancer. I mean everything.
I'm not supposed to say that. Still talk to your allopathic doctors. But you are very correct, Mr. Stevenson, that this is very, very good with those type of compounds that are actually found to help with also viruses, flu-like symptoms, and so forth.
I'm tempted to take some of this now. Can I?
You sure can. That's for you.
Okay, viewers, look at me. I'm not going to tell you something to take that I won't. Watch.
Good for you.
There you go.
And I'm not doing like Donald Trump and say I took the shot. The vaccine. This is the vaccine. Black seed oil. Thank you, Dr. Shaka.
That's right.
And oregano oil.
Oregano oil right here.
Oh, yeah. Wild oregano oil.
Wild oregano oil. This is one of the most powerful things that you can add also to your arsenal of natural health and empowerment of the people. Okay, so oregano oil is very good because it's very high in antioxidants, anti-inflammation properties, but also due to the cravicol ingredient. Cravicol is excellent for immunity defense, antiviral infections, antiseptic, etc. People who you can use this also topically for skin infections or psoriasis or eczema, all right, even down to toe fungus and so forth. And internally, it's excellent.
And what is this?
This here is my special blend here. This is a combination of African and Caribbean herbs combined.
Wow.
Because Natural Health Hero is a combination of Afro-American, indigenous, Bajan roots and so forth. So this is the Four Thieves. And the Four Thieves goes to a story during the 14th century during the bubonic plague. Yes. And this was a herbal remedy that was excellent for helping folks out for immune defense.
Great. So we know where to get it. Look, he ships worldwide. He knows where to get it. Contact Natural Health Hero. Back to you, Coach. Your Community Wellness Artistry Association. And I want to touch quickly on this program you have. The mic is open. Why don't you quickly tell the viewers about this?
All right, so the mic is open is a total freedom of expression open mic. The only total freedom of expression open mic you will find in Lower Westchester and New York.
Could viewers outside log in somewhere or to look at live on Facebook or something?
We're working on making it live, but you will be able to find it on Facebook. Not live, but
pre-recorded.
Right, pre-recorded. But you can come and bring any type of form of art. As a matter of fact, you can come up and you can scream, because we are very primal on the whole level of you being able to just express yourself. As that release is what will make you feel better, and we bring all our folks out to bring whatever level of art. You want to do a painting, you want to be a mime, you want to sing, you want to dance. It's the third Friday of the month at Jolo's Kitchen, 49 Lawton Street, New Rochelle, New York. That's the next one will be January 19th. The doors open at 7 p.m. You can reach me at my email at porterops09@gmail.com. If you want information about my programs, I'm at justgetoffit.com. That's Offit as in OFFUTT, my first name. And what we were stating before was about getting off of a lot of the negative things that we've been messing with and getting on to a lot of those positive things that we know are going to enhance our life.
That's beautiful. That's great. We thank you for that, Coach. And Dr. Aziz, we thank you for attending and being here today and giving our viewers a little bit of an assignment, waking up tomorrow in 2024, God willing. And viewers, I hope you take heed and take in what you've heard here today, because it's of great value for our life. Feeling good, being well, helps you feel good in the mind and think well in the mind. And if you're feeling good and you're thinking good, it means you will go do good. You would love people, you will help people, you will feel better, you'll be happier, etc. And also, don't give your children all these sugary drinks and foods. That's starting them off on a path to diabetes and hypertension. Keep them off these sugary drinks, these sodas and all. Keep them on natural lemonade. Squeeze some fresh lemons in some alkaline water and season, sugar, put brown sugar or something, give them natural drinks, stuff that would be good for their bodies. So as I tell you to have a blessed and prosperous new year, stay tuned for more great things to come out of this show. It's Power Talk, and I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. I don't just always like to focus on just government, because government needs to get their act together. The Congress is like it abandoned the countries. It's not getting anything done. But we want to keep you focused on real life issues as well, like pertaining and attending to your health and your body, helping your elders, helping your grandmothers and your mothers who's been fixed on these diets for so many years of processed foods that come out the middle section of that supermarket. Let's get them to the perimeter of that supermarket, to those greens and natural vegetables and the wholesome foods and the lean meats. And even that, we'll talk about another time, how we may even look at alternatives to even some meats. So with that, I thank you for tuning in to Millennium News 24. We're looking forward to a prosperous new year for all of us. And we're praying for a solution and a better actions being taken in Gaza, and that there'll be peace settled in the Middle East, and there'll be peace settled on our planet, and that we will all be able to come and live together in harmony and rid of weapons, rid of bombs, and rid of weapons of war. So God bless you all. Be safe. Drink apple cider juice today. And you don't have to use Dr. Aziz's book for hangovers. Just joking. Do what you do wisely. Be safe. Thank you all. And God bless. See you in 2024.
Yeah.
Much love, everyone.
Much love.
Travel
Peace
safe.
and love.